Shalom, my name is Yehonatan Ben Devoy. This is going to be a series of videos that address the topic of idolatry because I believe there's been a bunch of misconceptions about it, mostly due to Christian traditions. So I think I should discuss what idolatry actually is, plus delve into a historical study about what the tanakh actually says, including the and what the tanakh actually says. Including what the New Testament says from the original Greek. Then give an opposing worldview. Let's delve into what the tanakh actually says. According to verse 4, you shall not fashion. The Hebrew basically says you shall not fashion an idol / a statue or an image. Grammatically speaking, if you read it in context going from verse 1, the grammar is in the vocative, meaning Hashem is addressing one topic. That is information regarding divine beings. Because of the use of the word Elohim. Grammatically speaking, if you read it in context in verse 2, Hashem is our divine being. Verse 3, nothing else exists as our divine being. Now, according to verses 4 and 5, we weren't to build any idol or image, not to bow to them nor serve them. So according to the grammar, the images and idols are ways gods were expressed. Otherwise, he would have said the following: you shall not have other divine beings, and you shall not build images. You see, the grammar syntax would have gone back to third person instead of just continuing on. According to Isaiah 44, verses 14 through 17, he heweth down the cedars, and then taketh the cypress and the oak, and strengtheneth himself the trees of the forest. He planteth an ash, and the rain doth nourish it. Then it shall be for a man to burn, and he will take thereof and warm himself. Yea, he kindleth it, and baketh bread. Yea, he maketh a god, and worship it. He maketh a graven image. The fact that the statement goes from he maketh a god and worshipeth, he maketh a graven image, the subject is all one thing: God, graven image. And he falleth down thereto, and burneth part in the fire, and the part thereof he eateth flesh. He roasteth a roast, and satisfieth himself. Yea, he warmeth himself, and said, Aha, I am warm, I have seen the fire, and the residue thereof he maketh a god. His graven image he falleth down unto it, and worship it, and prayeth unto it, and saith, Deliver me, for thou art my God. So the subject in this case is very straightforward. The graven image is the God. According to Isaiah 44, you see, according to the passage, Isaiah viewed a god as having a physical image. In fact, according to scholar John H. Walton, the image of the divine being was viewed explicitly as the God, according to their mindset in a pagan worldview of the ancient Near East. So when the command talked about bowing and serving other gods, from the mindset it meant following another religion. It's that simple. According to the Torah, You served one divine being, that was Hashem. A divine being could also be a messenger, since this is the word used to mean messenger according to the usage in Job. The Canaanite thought process had a laundry list of gods. They were a pantheon. It comes from the word pan, which means many, and also theon, which is the Greek word for gods. Each god had their own images, which people served. Each one had their own service, including the Egyptian pantheon. Basically, they were all different religions. All in all, my worldview is that idolatry is no different than a different religion. It would require an image and / an idol, because the Mishnah requires an image in order for it to constitute idol worship. Now, I realize my worldview is anti-Christian doctrine / tradition because from my perspective, Christianity needs one person to do the law flawlessly. Everyone else be damned. However, I'm going to show you in the next video that the Church Fathers changed the interpretation of idol worship to fit this worldview, to make their version of Jesus relevant, and make the law impossible to do. So I'm going to do a historical interpretation on the first century rulings for idolatry, then illustrate what the Church Fathers stated and show the disparity. End goal is to show that they changed it. Moreover, I want to show an interpretation of lawlessness in the New Testament is only skin deep and focused on obscure verses.